I'm out this morning just doing a quick assessment of some areas in the bush that I want to check out. So nothing specific, but you never know what it's like in the bush. Good morning everyone, welcome back to another spectacular day on Shamwari Private Game Reserve, your favorite wildlife viewing destination. It is the beginning of springtime, the bush is looking absolutely amazing. I'm out this morning just doing a quick assessment of some areas in the bush that I want to check out. So nothing specific, but you never know what it's like in the bush. There's always something to surprise you, something beautiful to see. So join me for the next couple of minutes and let's see what we see. So one of the amazing things about this time of the year is as we're going into springtime, the bush is just coming alive. Everything is turning green, the flowers are coming out, the insects are starting to buzz. It's already been mating season, and most of our antelope species, including this herd of Impala here, most of those females will be carrying. And as we start moving towards that December, January period where the lambing season is, we'll get the introduction of all the youngsters, all the little calves being born, all the little lambs being born, and it's this time of the year where you get to see these females that are now visibly pregnant. So one of the other things you'll see happening this time of the year is all of a sudden you can identify all of the little almost yearling Impala males. There's a little ram over there, tiny little guy, and his horns are just past what in South Africa we call them pen koppies, tiny little pen-like or sharp straight up horns. And those little Impalas, those little rams, those little males will stay in this herd for only a few more months, and they'll eventually be kicked out as yearling males and go and join the bachelor herds. So those youngsters will be with the herd for another few more months, and then eventually they'll move out of the breeding herds into a bachelor herd with a whole bunch of other males and start moving through the process then of years and years worth of challenging one another, trying to survive, establishing dominance hierarchies, until eventually one day, just maybe, he'll have the right to be a dominant male and have mating rights. And at the end of the day, that's what it's all about, passing on his genes. Survival of the fittest. There, just the other side of that termite mound, there's 3 females that keep on staring off in that distance over there. And obviously from many previous episodes, we've always looked at what are the prey species or the herbivores telling us about the predators in the area. And potentially we'll follow up and just have a look if what they are continually staring at in that direction leads to anything. Well, I think we just found what our Impala was looking at. It looks like a rather flat cat over there. Looks like we've stumbled across the southern pride of lions. Stations, good morning. Southern Mplumbi, Ngonyama, Old Liliboma, Lalapanzi. So you can see the stomach on that big pride male over there it's just absolutely distended. It's ballooning, in fact. So it would be interesting to find out what they have been feeding on, because all of them, even there's a female lying at the back over there that looks quite full. So they've obviously quite recently made a kill, potentially moved off of it yesterday or last night. So somewhere close by there could be a giraffe or a buffalo or even a zebra, something like that they've been feeding on, because they all look incredibly happy, and lions will be doing what lions do best for the next maybe 2 days, and that's just sleeping. So as the season starts changing now, what we will see is the activity periods of the lions is also going to start changing a little bit. I think one of the amazing things about visiting Shamwari in winter time is that the days are relatively cool and the animals they'll be active at times where we wouldn't necessarily assume them to be active. So in other words, we think lions are very nocturnal cats, and well, in some instances, yes, that is true. In summertime, definitely, these cats prefer to operate at nighttime when it's cooler because the days are super hot, so they'll be lying up in the shade. But in wintertime, which we're moving out of now, they'll be actually quite active during the day, and we see these guys sometimes in the middle of the day in wintertime busy hunting, and very successfully. So again, it's a species of opportunity. If the opportunity presents itself, they're going to take it. So if they're prey items, things that they like feeding on or have the ability to catch, things like warthog, if they're active during the middle of the day, they'll be trying to catch them during the middle of the day. And warthogs don't like cold weather, so they're down underground in their burrows, sometimes until late morning before they'll come out. So they will match their activity periods to the animals or their prey species that they are hunting. And in summertime, when it gets so hot and beautiful sunny long days, they're going to be in the shade, just conserving energy until it gets cooler. Well, beautiful sighting of some of the southern pride of lions this morning, and I think just amazing that nature assists you in that way. We're driving around looking at Impala, and the Impala show us where the lions are. So nature is just incredible. You never know what you're going to see. But you know what they say, let sleeping cats lie. Let's head off and see what else we can see. So here's a youngster walking down the road towards us. Sometimes you're just driving along and the next thing there's a herd of elephants. So it'll be interesting to see this guy with this guy. Obviously this is a much bigger bull over here. There's a younger bull. And as this youngster is approaching over here, so the behavior of this bull has started changing. Nothing aggressive. There's more just a playful dominance involved most of the time. So this is a breeding herd. There's a lot of youngsters. You can see there's some youngsters over here, females and babies moving through the herd. And these younger bulls on the fringes, they're often tolerated, although any boisterous behavior will be met with unfavorable reactions from the female. So any of this type of stuff is more just jousting and playing fun behavior with the young typical teenager boys wrestling. Absolutely no competition at all between this big bull and this youngster over here. If there is any form of a jostle or a push or a head shake, or it'll purely be based on more a friendship and a play wrestle between these bulls, because this guy he's massive, he's big, and that is the role and responsibility of these big bulls, is to instill discipline and order and lessons in these younger bulls, and that's what keeps them in check. So two young little bulls over there just having a little bit of a jostle or a push, and typical young male elephant behavior. Even at that young age you can see typical little boys busy wrestling and pushing one another, and you're actually so naughty sometimes that they'll try and push one another into a bush or a tree. So a lot of people might ask about our safety or how we are with the animals, and he's carrying on with life. They're busy feeding, we're sitting here talking, and in 5-10 minutes everyone's going to go their separate ways. And there's a number of different factors to that. There's number one is we never put pressure on the animals. We never chase after them. If they move away from us, we don't push after them, because that creates the notion that we are something that's always putting pressure on them and chasing them, and eventually it could elicit bad reactions from them. We always are watching body language from these elephants, not just elephants, any animals, and we spend a lot of time with the field guides doing training and ethical training and understanding ethology, the behavior of elephants, and again, not just elephants, all animals. And we look at comfort zones, the comfort levels of the animal's body language, and simple things like head posture, tail posture, the angle of the head, how it's held, that gives off key information that you have to listen to warning signals. And animals are like humans. They have bad days and they have good days. And it's up to us to listen to those animals when they're having the bad day so that you don't push them. And eventually they understand that we're not competing for space. We're not taking their food away. We're not altering their behavior. We come, we watch, and we go. And that's the right way of doing it. And in so doing, you have incredibly relaxed animals. They're not pursued, they're not hunted, they're not in any way harmed or threatened. And you have these incredibly natural situations taking place. It's just so intentional. So again, typical male behavior is he was coming down the road, so we pulled off the road to give him all the space over there. He's got all of that space over there, but he wanted to be inquisitive and come and have a look over here. But again, and there's nothing to suggest that he was uncomfortable with the situation. So if you were to start the vehicle and startle him, then it could create a problem. So a lot of the time, it's best just to sit quietly and just let the animals move. And often it's a very different experience if you approach the animal or the animal approaches you. It's then their choice as to how close you can get. So as we've come around the corner and come out onto these beautiful plains over there, there's just a myriad of animal species. There's giraffe, there's zebra, there's impala, there's springbok. What else is here? There's kudus. But it looks like there is some rhino against that bush over there, and I can't tell from this distance if it's black or white rhino, so I'm just going to have a quick look with my binoculars. It's a female and calf white rhino, just busy lying in the sun, getting some beautiful warm morning sun rays on them. So there's a slight bit of a breeze and the wind has still got a bit of a morning chill on it. So that female and calf would have gone onto the leeward side of that acacia bush this morning and just lay down in the sun, warmed up from the one side and been protected from the wind on the other side. I'm going to leave our rhino sleeping over there, and I've got a giraffe's ears just sticking out from behind a bush over there. So let's just nip around the corner. It's quite an old, mature female. I'm surprised that she is by herself, but I say she's by herself. It just means we can't see the rest of the giraffe yet. Giraffe are known to venture hundreds and hundreds of meters from one another. But as long as they can maintain visual contact with one another, they're still considered within the same social grouping or herd. So as we lower down and go around the corner, we might see a couple more. But yeah, older female, just obviously not with a youngster that she would need to group up with the rest of the members. And as I move down a couple more meters, as we come around this corner, you'll see there's a whole bunch more giraffe. I can just see white ears. There we go. There's a large group of giraffe, females, youngsters, the whole shebang. How beautiful is that? A couple of mature giraffe over there. It looks like two males, one or two younger females, and then there's some young giraffe over there as well. It's quite a large expanse of trees over there. We might even have more giraffe in there, and often with these giraffe they can be spread over such a large area, but often the youngsters group together in these little nursery herds for the first few years of their lives. There's a few different ages. That guy over there looks like the youngest, probably about a year old, just over a year, and then some slightly older ones over there, a little bit taller than him. Full-grown male over there. You can see the tops of his horns are already shiny and bald. beautiful kudu lying down on the side of the slope over here. Also getting some rays, some nice sun. That's very cool to see. Let's head up here. There's I think, last cool sighting for the day. Well, two things. As that female kudu is lying down so well camouflaged over there, so another one moves over there. And often the thing with kudu is you see one and you just watch for a few minutes, a few seconds, and you'll see the rest start moving. And there's our eland up on the hill over there. A couple of vervet monkeys running on the ground over there as well. And a warthog and some youngsters. It's just all happening this morning. And a tortoise. There you go, guys. There's a tortoise on the side of the little rocky slope over there. That's a leopard tortoise. And nothing more exciting for me than to see a tortoise, purely because that is now the proper confirmation that springtime is here, summer is on the way. When our tortoises start moving around and they come out of hibernation, that means it's happening. Springtime is here. The bush is going to explode. It's a really, really exciting time of the year. So you can see that little vervet monkey over there has just found access to a really good food source, which is, it looks like a herbaceous flower head of sorts. I can't see it from here, but he's just going from one to the next and just busy eating the tops off. So obviously something that they're able to digest really easily, and it's just in abundance, so they'll be eating a lot of it. Two young little vervet monkeys. So it looks like they're eating and I can't see if they're eating the fruit or the flowers of what we call a honey dewthorn. Again, a very common plant over here, and it actually looks like they're eating green leaves over there, so the young fresh green shoots of that tree. Also, they would be able to digest that. And I don't know if you heard that little chirp throughout the troop, but as a big crow flew over, there was a little murmur through the troop of monkeys, all signaling to one another that they'd seen the big bird, they knew what it was, and it wasn't a predator. If an eagle was to fly over, there would be a completely different response. There would be a unique call for that specific threat from the air, the bird of prey, and then they would all rush into thick bush, dense bush, so that the eagle wouldn't be able to catch them. And that's the job. There will be sentry posts up in some of these higher trees over here. Individuals will be sitting up, keeping an eye out for aerial predators, and then obviously the rest of the troop on the ground, busy feeding, will get a good advanced warning if there's any predators spotted. Let's zip up here and see if we can get those eland quickly. Again, another beautiful mixed herd of zebra and eland. Look at all these little youngsters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 of them. A good amount of them have made it through. 7 of them. Yeah, it looks like about 7 youngsters there. And they're at a good age. The horns are already quite long, so now going into this period, life will be easy for them and they're going to grow quickly. And they've made it through a long winter. There's a very pregnant zebra at the back as well. You can see how distended her tummy is compared to the one walking next to her. So she looks pretty much within a couple of days to weeks of giving birth, and that's a very long 1-year gestation period for that zebra. But hopefully it will be born into a good time of the year, abundance of food, and we'll have a good start on life. Well, that's it, guys. I nipped out quickly into the bush just to go and check on something, and short little hour out into the bush, and just an abundance of wildlife that we got to see. So I hope you enjoyed it. We hope to see you here soon. Until then, stay safe.